Hello, and a very warm welcome back to Learn English with Podcast Conversation. I'm your host, Lisa, and it's a true pleasure to be sharing this time with you. I want to take you back to a time in my life a few years ago. I had just moved to a new city to pursue a major entrepreneurial venture. My days were a whirlwind of activity, a blur of market research, copywriting, late-night strategy sessions, and the constant, thrilling pressure of building something from scratch. My work was my life, and in many ways, I was fulfilled, but then the weekends would arrive. The frantic pace would slow, the emails would trickle to a stop, and a profound silence would descend. I remember sitting in my new apartment, surrounded by unpacked boxes, looking out at a city of millions of people and feeling utterly and completely alone. I realized that in my relentless pursuit of professional goals, I had neglected a fundamental human need, the need for connection. I had colleagues, I had business contacts, but I didn't have friends in this new chapter of my life. The thought of starting from scratch, of putting myself out there, was frankly terrifying. It felt more daunting than any business pitch I had ever prepared. I think this is a feeling many of us can relate to, especially if you lead a demanding life. When you're a doctor, an entrepreneur, or any professional pouring your heart and soul into your work, your social life is often the first thing to be sacrificed. Yet, it's the very thing we need to sustain us. Friendship is the ballast that keeps our ship steady in the stormy seas of ambition and stress. It's the laughter that cuts through the tension, the shared understanding that makes us feel seen. So, today's episode is about something very close to my heart. We're going to talk about the art of making new friends as an adult. This isn't just about language. It's about courage, vulnerability, and the simple, beautiful mechanics of human connection. We'll explore how to move from a polite hello to a genuine, supportive friendship, using English that is warm, authentic, and natural. Are you ready to open the door to new connections? Let's begin. Before we even talk about what to say, I think it's crucial to talk about the mindset. Making friends as an adult is different from when we were children. It doesn't just happen automatically in the playground. It requires intention. The first step is to cultivate an attitude of openness. This means sending out subtle signals to the world that you are open to connection. It's in your body language and open posture, a warm smile, making eye contact. It's a quiet internal shift from I'm too busy to I'm open to seeing who I might meet today. The second piece of the mindset is genuine curiosity. The most charismatic and well-liked people I know all share one trait. They are more interested in other people than they are in talking about themselves. When you approach a conversation with a genuine desire to learn about the other person, you radiate a warmth that is incredibly attractive. With that mindset in place, let's talk about the first hurdle, breaking the ice. This is the moment you move from being strangers to having a conversation. The key is to find a shared context. You don't need a clever opening line. You just need to notice what you have in common in that specific moment. Let's say you're at a professional workshop or a conference. You could turn to the person sitting next to you during a break and say, "That was a really insightful point the speaker just made, wasn't it?" Or, "I'm finding this session really valuable." What brings you to this event? It's simple, relevant, and opens the door for them to share something about themselves. What if you're in a more casual setting, like a coffee shop? You might notice someone reading a book you love. You could say, "Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but I couldn't help but notice your book. It's one of my all-time favorites." This is a wonderful opener because it's a genuine compliment and immediately establishes a shared interest. Once the conversation has started, your goal is to keep it going by being a great listener and asking great questions. The golden rule here is to ask open-ended questions. These are questions that can't be answered with a simple yes or no. Instead of asking, "Do you like your job?" A closed question, try asking, "That sounds like a fascinating field. How did you get into that line of work?" Instead of, "Are you from around here?" Try, "This is such a great neighborhood." What are some of your favorite spots around here? As they speak, show you're engaged. Use active listening cues. These are small verbal nods that say I'm with you. Simple phrases like, "Oh, that's interesting. Tell me more about that." Or, "Wow, that must have been quite an experience." Make the other person feel heard and valued. Now, we come to the most crucial and often the most nerve-wracking part, transitioning from a pleasant chat to a potential friendship. This is the follow-up. How many times have you had a wonderful conversation with someone only to walk away and never see them again? The key is to take a small, low-pressure risk. If you genuinely feel a connection, you can express it. You could say, "Well, I've really enjoyed chatting with you." This is a warm and positive statement that paves the way for the next step. Then, you can suggest a future meeting. The language here should be casual and specific to what you've just talked about. For example, if you discovered a shared love for hiking, you could say, "You know, a few of us are planning a hike up to the local peak in a couple of weeks. It's nothing too strenuous. Would you be interested in joining?" This is a brilliant strategy because it's a group activity, which feels less intense than a one-on-one meeting. If you connected over a professional interest, you could say, "I'd love to continue this conversation sometime. Would you be open to grabbing coffee next week?" The phrase "grabbing a coffee" is the classic, low-stakes invitation. It's short, it's public, and it's not a huge time commitment, which makes it very easy for the other person to say yes. Let's practice one of those gentle, forward-looking phrases. Repeat after me. "I've really enjoyed our conversation. We should do this again sometime. It's perfect." It's friendly, it's sincere, and it opens the door without applying any pressure. What if they say yes? Great. You can then exchange contact information. Fantastic. What's the best way to get in touch? Should I take your number? And what if they seem hesitant or say no? That is perfectly okay. Do not take it personally. People are busy. They may have full social circles, or they may just not be looking for new friends at that moment. Simply smile and say, "No problem at all. It was really great to meet you anyway. Have a wonderful day." Grace in the face of rejection is a sign of high social intelligence. Making friends is not a one-time event. It's a process. It's about nurturing a connection over time. It's about remembering small details from your conversations. It's about sending a simple text message that says, "Hey, I saw this article and it made me think of our conversation about topic." Hope you're having a good week. This shows you are listening and that you care. For those of us with demanding careers, finding the time can be the biggest challenge. But I've learned that friendship isn't about having huge blocks of free time. It's about integrating people into the life you already have. It's the quick coffee between meetings. It's the shared workout at the gym. It's the understanding that even a brief connection can provide a massive amount of support and joy. And that brings us to the heart of it all. Making new friends as an adult is an act of courage. It requires us to be a little bit vulnerable, to step outside our comfort zone, and to risk rejection. But to reward the feeling of being known, supported, and celebrated for who you are is one of the greatest rewards life has to offer. Let's end today with our affirmations to build that inner confidence you need to go out and connect. Please say them with me. I am open and curious, and I welcome new people into my life. I am a great listener and I make others feel valued. I have the courage to initiate conversations and build connections. I am worthy of deep and meaningful friendships. Let's repeat them one more time, making them your personal mantra for connection. I am open and curious, and I welcome new people into my life. I am a great listener and I make others feel valued. I am worthy of deep and meaningful friendships. That concludes episode 35 of Learn English with Podcast Conversation. I am so inspired by your willingness to learn not just the language, but the life skills that go with it. Your task for this week is a small act of courage. I want you to initiate one conversation with someone new. It could be the barista at your favorite coffee shop. Ask them how their day is going. It could be someone at the gym or a neighbor you always see but have never spoken to. The goal is not to make a best friend in 5 minutes. The goal is simply to practice breaking the ice and to prove to yourself that you can. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Until our next conversation, keep learning, keep connecting, and keep shining. Bye for now.